Hey, hey guys, I really didn't expect to come back on that fast. This is completely ridiculous. I cannot even believe what I'm reading. Uh, Dan Bailey, you guys probably or know already. It was news about 10 minutes ago. Dan Bailey has been released. They've cut Dan Bailey, which is crazy. Rico Gathers survives. Rico Gathers made the final 53. As for now, we will see what's going on because I knew something was going on because, as you guys know, we were sitting there waiting for like the last 15 minutes. Yeah, Dan Bailey, crazy dude. Hey, what's up, Herb? How you doing, bro? Out of Tennessee. I just did a video. I'm not sure if you caught on to the last live transaction. I don't know why they cut Bailey. I'm assuming because it's probably going to save them a little bit of money. The he, the other kicker. One second. Let me jump in and let me read over this because I just saw it actually. I went over to my Cowboys families page and the news was just breaking. I was going to actually sit back and watch my Cowboy family page for a little bit, and what pops up? She like I'm on there only like 2 minutes, and she starts I guess cursing about Dan Bailey being cut. I feel really bad, but yeah, my Cowboys family fiance, his fiance there, she was going off, and I was like, as soon as I turned it on, and so I ran back in here to post to you guys. I know some of you guys probably follow them as well, but we've released the Cowboys have reportedly released kicker Dan Bailey, according to multiple sources. They worked to shave down their bloated 90-man roster to the mandatory 53 head count. Following a strong start to camp, Bailey had a rough 2 days wherein he missed more than one kick, again fueling the undercurrent of doubt from those who are terrified that he'll be doing the same thing in the regular season. So it looks like they cut him due to performance. It's you know the Cowboys really seem like they're going out on a limb here to just make wild decisions. I don't understand it. The they take one player and he makes a few mistakes and they cut him, and they take other players that make continuous mistakes or have multiple personnel problems and personal issues, off the field issues, and they they uh, they keep those guys and let them work through problems. So I had a guy miss the 57. I had that guy miss the 57-yard field goal. He might still be there. Yeah, Dan Bailey, and that's one thing. Dan Bailey's been very accurate, but he doesn't have like the strongest leg. The thing is when Dan Bailey kicks that ball, it has no waver on it. When I don't know what he does to the ball, but Dan Bailey has the ability to kick that ball. It flies off the tee, or it flies off of his foot, and it flies in a straight path. It might wobble a little bit left to right, but you guys can watch other kickers, and like the again in the Green Bay game, that kick that Crosby made, you saw that damn thing, and it curved right back in. And Crosby's kicks do that a lot. Dan Bailey really puts a straight foot on the ball. He gets a good rotation. Uh, any 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 left to right movement of the ball is going to cause the ball to kind of redirect itself. I don't know what Dan Bailey does to keep that ball so straight, but my concern now is I think this kid has a stronger leg than Dan Bailey, but I don't think he's going to be as accurate. So, and these days with a 33-yard field goal versus the old 20, um, we might see some issues this year missing the extra points. And I know Dan Bailey had the injury, and he kind of hasn't been the same. And a kicker's a kicker. He can kick the ball in practice. He can kick it in a game. You can really read a kicker It's not like a quarterback. You have to do drills and then put him in the game and see if he plays the same in the game. A kicker relatively usually kicks the same in the game as he does in practice, or vice versa. So we'll see, guys. I had to jump back on because that was a surprise. Every game I watched this year, they had the new guy out there, and I was trying to get his name. Let me see. Um, it's like similar, like Lance Lenore or something like that. I know that's not it, but it's similar to that. His name is let's see. Where's the guy we kept? I'm looking through the rosters here now, uh, and I'm not getting it. I'm gonna have to pull up another page. It doesn't have who I didn't even pay attention to the current kicker. That's how much a lock Dan Bailey was. Mar, yes, Mar is his name, and I apologize, guys. I didn't pay attention. With doing the chat boxes and doing the live streams, when there's a kick, that's my time to run to the bathroom, or that way I can keep the game live and not get behind. I can't pause it. But man, uh, Dan Bailey gone. I can't believe it. He will be picked up very quick, and I'm hoping that this saved us some money, and we're going to yeah, no love, bro. It's cutthroat. The Cowboys is cutthroat, though. They cut Dez. I hope Dez and Dan Bailey end up on the same team. I hope, like I said, I hope they play well. I really hope well for Dez. I like the guy. I think he's a great player. I think he's a great Cowboy. We're just gonna have to see where he ends up. I hope he ends up with a good quarterback. So, anyways, guys, just wanted to post that out real quick. Dan Bailey signed with the Giants. Haha me, that, yeah. I doubt he's going to sign with the Giants. I think the Giants are. If that happens, we'll see. But they've got 24 hours. All these guys that are cut have 24 hours to get picked up on other practice squads. If no one else picks them up on the practice squads, then we can re-sign them. But the players we cut, they are open for a 24-hour signing by other teams. And then once that signing is done, tomorrow is the waiver wire deadline, or the signing deadline. So tomorrow at, I believe, 4 o'clock, the teams that have not signed, or the players that have not signed with any teams, you can pick those up and put them on your practice squad. So just had to get that out real quick. Rico Gathers made the team. Dan Bailey did not. And I didn't even know the name of our kicker, because watching the games, the way I've been watching them on the live stream and stuff, I never even paid attention to the dude. I did see him nail that 57-yarder, and it looked straight as an arrow too. It never pulled left to right. The ball never shifted. It went straight down the middle, and it was for 57 yards. And there's a chance that dude is doing that in practice. Maybe he's just nailing those field goals from 58, 57, 60. 54, maybe we'll see. Kickers are a real unique situation. We had a kicker in high school that was outstanding. I'm telling you, bro, this guy was. We went there to watch the kicker warm up and everything. This guy was badass, and he got no offers. It's like the kicking position wasn't important at the time. So Dan Bailey played like crap at the end of last season. Maybe something's not right. Maybe something's wrong with him. So we got to move forward now. We'll watch Dan Bailey's career. Hopefully he does well. Hopefully he doesn't hurt us in the future. So yeah, I believe I agree, Anthony. I think they're putting the whole season on Zach's back. Zeke and Dak, which is the Zachinator. They're going to have to get together, and they're going to have to pull this offense together. And at least, hopefully, that Rico Gathers will get to dress some games. We'll get to see him, and hopefully, we'll have some positions or situations we can put him on the field. Because to me, on 1st and 20, if on first down, if you have a holding penalty and it goes to 1st and 20, the first thing I'm going to do is put Rico Gathers in there and put a passing threat in. He's going to change the whole situation on the defense. Having Rico Gathers at tight end and having Rico Gathers run deep patterns. We've got to have Rico Gathers run deep patterns and pull the defense because they're going to have to double team him on deep routes. Now, for him to get deep, he needs a little more time. He's not as fast as a receiver, but he can get deep enough to affect the defense. So that's what I'm hoping happens. Michael Rodriguez, what's going on, bro? New subscriber, love the show. It sucks. I love Bailey. Dallas is, yeah. Appreciate you being a new subscriber, man. Uh, I had to post your comment because I think it had the word sucks. Not a big deal. I'm okay with it. I'm cool. It's just it's set up. I got it set up where it will block those words, and then I can post them unless somebody posts something completely crazy or guys start cussing at each other. Um, and hey, guys, I really think that frees up more money. I can guarantee you. I don't know what the cap situation is with Dan Bailey, but that should have freed up a little more money. I think we did keep Noah Brown. Deontay Thompson is gone. I did get that as well. I couldn't confirm that earlier, but yeah, Deontay Thompson is gone. Did not make the final 53. That was kind of surprise. He was a speed guy. That's what they said the Cowboys were looking for. I thought he would make it. So the final roster will be coming out, but I'm assuming Noah Brown has to have made it because with the other cuts they've made, they had to have put Noah Brown up there. So we'll see, guys. Where are we at now? Rico, maybe Rico can kick field goals. Yeah, or Earl Thomas. Maybe those guys will end up kicking field goals for us. But as for now, guys, Dan Bailey, let's take that as a good sign. I mean, it's pretty easy to evaluate a kicker. It really is. You've either got a good leg or you don't. So the Cowboys had to have seen something in Meyer or Mayer or however you say his name. They had to have seen something in this guy that that just blew him away. Because you guys know when it especially comes to the playoffs, you have to have a kicker. A kicker will win or lose you a game. A kicker missing an extra point will get you in a position where now you've got to score again to get that point back. You've got to carry the ball all the way down the field again, bring it into the red zone, and put up a field goal to cover for the point you lost. Because a touchdown without the extra point is not a touchdown anymore. It's two field goals. I mean, and that's exactly what it is. It's just like you did not score a touchdown. If you go down and you can't kick the extra point or you miss it, that one point it always sneaks up and bites you in the ass. Almost always. And Pittsburgh got themselves in situations like that last year. Pittsburgh had a situation where they said, we're just going to go for two. And they went for two most of the time. And they got their asses burnt. And the game we beat them, that was one of the reasons. One of the reasons we beat the Pittsburgh Steelers was because they went for two, they went for two, and they went for two, and they missed it. And we ended up winning in overtime. If you guys remember the game, Ezekiel Elliott had, I think it was an overtime run where Ezekiel Elliott ran the ball into the end zone about from the 20-yard line. And we would not have been in that game if Pittsburgh had just kicked field goals. That allowed us to get back in there. So we can't evaluate a kicker in the clutch until the pro. Yeah, that's another thing, dude. You can ice a kicker. Some kickers you can't ice. Some kickers you call the timeout and try to ice them. That gives them more time. They don't get stressed out. Some kickers just can feel everyone watching them. I had that issue in basketball. I told you guys I did play some college basketball for a while, and I had that issue at the free throw line. I could shoot free throws all day in practice. Matter of fact, I always won the practice competitions. We would shoot 50 free throws, and at the end of the 50 free throws, whoever had made the most free throws didn't have to run. Well, I never had to run. I almost always won that. But in the game, I shot like 73, 74%, which is good, not great. But we had other guys on the team shooting in the 80s, but they never won in practice. So it's kind of weird. I didn't like everyone having their eyes on me a little. So kicking in the clutch, completely different. So we'll see, guys. It looks like Lance Lenore made the team. It looks like Rico Gathers is on there. Dan Bailey, man, I can't believe they cut the guy. I can't. Maybe a trade or something. I don't understand why they wouldn't trade him. Release franchise record-setting kicker Dan Bailey. There's got to be something to that. Maybe there's something else lined up with Dan Bailey because you guys know he has a name, he has a foot. Um, it looks like Lance Lenore made the team. I'm almost positive. I have not seen that. No, I'm sorry, not Lance Lenore. Noah Brown. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Lance Lenore has been cut. Noah Brown is the one that I was talking about. I was reading and talking at the same time. Really sorry, guys. Yeah. Noah Brown looks like he has made the team. A couple of guys were asking earlier. Um, Noah Brown looks like he's made the team, and Lance Lenore definitely has been released. He was released hours ago. So yeah, sorry Raymond. Yeah, my bad, brother. My bad. I was reading and skimming through some pictures at the same time I was talking. Yeah, so unreal that they cut Bailey. You're right. Obviously, they've evaluated this kicker in at least in practice, and he's done very well. And we'll see. Hopefully, we get something out of this kicker, and hopefully we get something out of Dan Bailey being released, like some cap money to sign Earl Thomas. To me, that'd be great. I don't know what. I know that Dan Bailey's pay had to be much higher than what we would put on the new kicker. So we can bring a new kicker in. That's what the Cowboys are looking at now. Any veteran that can be replaced by a new player with less money, they're gonna do it. So if they think they can, if I'm a veteran player making 8 million a year, and they think they can find a safety that's just as good as me or almost as good as me, they're gonna bring me in for 2 million, and that's gonna give them $6 million to spend somewhere else. So that's what the situation is. Bailey gone. Wow, did they keep the kid that hit the 57-yarder? Yeah, Meyer has been kept, and I think the reason they did that, like I said, if he's close to what Bailey can do and they can get him, let me put it this way. If he can do 90% of the job that Bailey did and they can pay him 30% of what Bailey was making, they're going to do it. They're going to say, hey, he's not Dan Bailey, but he's good. He's very good. And we can pay him almost nothing. That's what they're going to do. And it's crazy. So maybe we're going to start importing. Maybe we're going to start importing our football players and saying, "Hey, I can import a player from another country where the players are cheaper." And I don't know, guys. It may get to that point, but it looks like they let Dan Bailey go because this kid is pretty good. He can do most of the things Dan Bailey does, but he's going to do it at a third of the price, and that's going to give them money to go after a safety. He's a clutch kicker, and that's going to be important. And we might lose a game this year. If we get to a playoff game, if we get to a playoff game and this kid misses a field goal that would put us in the next round or in the Super Bowl or put us, and that's what I've been telling you guys the whole last season and this season. Um, Kickers are important because if you're on the edge of winning a Super Bowl, you're gonna have the kicker's gonna win you a game on the way there. He's gonna win you one game in the playoffs usually. How many playoff game winning field goals do we see every year? Crosby did it to us, and that's so we got to see how this goes, guys. I understand the money, but I trusted Dan. Yeah, and play another thing. A kicker's not a position where you make millions and millions of dollars. Dan Bailey was probably one of the highest paid kickers in the league, I'm sure. And we're gonna get this guy, and he's gonna come in and make very little. So if they use that money, maybe if they use the money from Dan Bailey. Yeah, Dan Bailey's been released, Hawk, about 30 minutes ago. Actually, 42 minutes ago. That's why there was no releases there at the last minute that the new kicker made. Yeah, he made field goals from 57. That Bailey. The thing is, this guy Meyer. I don't know how to say his name. He's got a stronger leg than Bailey. His leg is stronger, but it's not as accurate that we know of. Bailey, as you guys know, they have never marched him out there and had him kick anything over 55 yards, and it's because his foot is not strong like that. He's very accurate, but he doesn't have a boot. He just doesn't put a boot on it. But if you look, that ball flies straight and true like a baseball. I mean, he can kick a football and make it fly like a baseball. I don't know how he does it. I'm stunned too, bro. It's blowing me away. Dan Bailey's the best. He's had some issues the last 2 years, being injured. Last year, and then this year they said he just wasn't as consistent in practice. So he has been released. I'm sure they're going to save some money on this guy, and hopefully they're going to save this money and go after Earl Thomas, and that's going to happen. Earl Thomas will be picked up in the next 24 hours. That's what I'm predicting, and I'm saying that because um, all the players that were released today were all the NFL teams are weeding through that right now. All the players that have been. Hey guys, I got 76 on here. Like and subscribe to the channel. The biggest thing is subscribe and hit the notification button. Also, if you hit the like button, it does drive the videos up on the channel, which I am trying to do because when I get over to Afghanistan, I do want to continue to talk to you guys and hang out with you guys. I'll be doing my live streams from Afghanistan as well. So, and Istanbul and Dubai when I'm traveling. So, yeah, no Bo, no DJ Jackson, and Darius Jackson did not make the team. Dan Bailey got cut. So right now what the Cowboys are doing, I'm sure they're looking at all the safeties that have been released in the last hour. Those guys will be working on that safety list probably all night. They'll work on that safety list until late this evening. And if they don't get a safety in this evening, if safeties start coming off the board, they're going to get nervous and they're going to go after Earl Thomas. That's what I predict to happen. Deontay Thomas and Lenore were released. Yes, sir, they sure were. How you doing, Kevin Beck? What's up, brother? The Green Show's scene is in the house. Dalton Rush. We just let Dan Bailey go for free. That's what I don't understand either. He was let go for free. They didn't even attempt to trade or anything. They could have reached out maybe to Seattle and thrown him in on a trade. So I see he was released. I don't know how that could be true. I would think they would try to trade him first. Come home safe. Oh, I will, guys. I work inside the airport there in Kabul. I do work with the military, but where I'm at is extremely safe. I never go outside the city too much. I do have some meetings with the United Nations, but I take up armored vehicle. I take about 20 security with me. So if you guys want to see live footage of driving through Kabul downtown, I can do that. The signal may not be that good, but when I get over there, guys, I will do some live footage driving through downtown Afghanistan, driving to the embassy, driving to the United Nations compound and stuff like that. So anyway, subscribe to the channel, guys. Like I said, I'll be doing at least 1 or 2 videos a day when I get to Afghanistan, keeping us up on the season, breaking down the games. What I do every week is I watch every game the Cowboys play on Sunday or Monday, whatever, and then I watch it again during the week. I watch it at least 2 more times during the week, and then I watch the team that they're playing the next week. Let's say this weekend we're supposed to play Washington. So I would watch the Cowboys game last week with Philly 3 times, and then I watched Washington and whoever they played, let's say Tampa Bay. I watched that game 2 or 3 times. By the time it comes around for the Cowboys to play Washington later that week, I really, really have a good dig on the situation of the game. The only thing I can't call is the coin toss. But I really think the Cowboys, they've made some interesting moves, guys. And as you guys know, this is either going to work or it's not. They've either made good moves, and some of them will be good and some of them won't. But I think I have trust in Jerry Jones releasing the power that he's had. I think he's given the power to Stephen Jones, and I think they're doing a good job. I think they're doing a management by committee now, not just letting Jerry Jones make decisions and saying, no, don't do that. Management by committee, I think, is the way they're going, and I think it'll work. And like I said, guys, 93% kicker, and actually prior to that, he was like 95 the year, or 98 like the year before. He did have some misses last year, And so we'll see. Campos, Wells, Jackson, Williams, Chum, Alumba, Huff. Huff definitely needed to go. He was a huff and a whiff. I thought Alumba might have a chance. Johnson, Sanders, Pickens, Judge all Ely, 36 cuts. Yep, total of 36 guys gone. So some of the other guys, those are the well noted there, Rick. Most of those are guys that kind of had a chance. Some of those didn't. I saw Cuero played. Cuero, I believe is how you say it exactly. He played really well the last game, but he was never expected to rise up into the 53 anyways. Cutting Dan Bailey is the worst move of the day. It could lead possible. I feel that they had to have analyzed this Meyer guy or Mayer, however you say it. They had to have analyzed him really well in practice. And what was so crazy is they kicked that field goal with 24 seconds left. It was 4th and 2, I think, against, was it the Cardinals last week, or was it just the last game against the Texans? And we were like, why don't you just go for it? Your offense is what needs the work, not your kicker. You got Dan Bailey over here. You're not keeping this guy. Why would you have this guy kick whatever the field goal range was? It wasn't even a difficult field goal. And man, come to find out, they were testing the guy. And anytime you can take a veteran player and release him and replace him with a younger guy that's gonna increase your cap capability. Dan Bailey was a hit on the cap. He wasn't a huge hit, but he's a much bigger hit on the cap than this guy is. So he must be good. As you guys know, the Cowboys and the NFL, the kickers are much more important now than they were. So I do see the fact that they had to have analyzed this guy and really took a look at him because they did like Bailey. Bailey was a captain on the team as well, a veteran captain that everyone got along with, and they did the guy wrong. They did it over money, and they saw a younger guy that they could get cheaper, and they're thinking he can relatively do the job adequate or close to what Dan Bailey did. So that's it, guys. I'm going to jump off again. I apologize for going live so close back to back, but please subscribe to the channel. That's really going to help me, have guys to talk to. Some of my shows, you might have to watch them once I get over in Afghanistan. Some of my shows are going to be a little later because the time difference is almost 12 hours. So I'll try to do shows that are on time with the viewers, but sometimes you guys might have to watch the show after it's posted versus the live show. So let's get rid of fucking Garrett. Let's get his ass out of here. He's next. He looks like he's made some cuts. The main thing is, I told you guys, 2 out of 3 isn't bad. One of them is still in the works. I was wrong on the Mike White thing. I thought Mike White was gone, and there's a possibility he could be. They could work a trade or something with one of these guys. With Cooper Rush or Mike White. Quarterbacks are more valuable once teams are locked and if they're not happy with their quarterback and they start searching, quarterbacks become valuable. So we'll see. I don't think Mike White or Cooper Rush will get traded at this point now, unless we find a veteran quarterback that fits with the Cowboys, which could be RG3. But we'll see, guys. I'm hoping we can do something and get this thing locked together. Oh man. So we'll see. Yeah, they did him like this. But thanks, guys. Please subscribe to the channel. That's my crazy son back there playing Xbox games. He's 19 years old, and he loves his video games. You guys know how they are. He plays with his friends online, and so he gets loud. He talks. He's way back in the back of the house, so he's letting it roar. But thanks, guys. Subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys later tonight, or I will see you in Istanbul tomorrow or at the airport. I will be traveling tomorrow. Take care, guys.